Welcome to Reset Fridge and Freezer. This is another short lesson, but it's an important one just to go over a few things and to get our head straight on the food lifestyle reset. The way I look at it, having a healthy food lifestyle is more about integrating and up-leveling what already exists for you. So a reset is not about a complete whitewash. You're not getting rid of everything. We're integrating and up-leveling, because there are pieces of your food lifestyle that work for you because they wouldn't be there otherwise. It's just there are some pieces that maybe are outdated, moved on from them, that they're no longer the way you want to have it. What we're doing is we're taking the pieces that you want to keep, and perhaps some of them then you're going to up level a little bit, and then we're going to bring in some new pieces that will help the whole thing come together. With your fridge, I would recommend that you clean it out once a week, and the good idea would be to do this when you're doing your meal plan for the week. So at the same time, while you're putting your week's food together, you're cleaning out, you're going through your fridge, seeing what you have, if there's any food waste, get rid of it, if there's any condiments or anything in there that's expiring or you're running short of anything, you're going to see it there and then, and you just pop it on your list. They do suggest that we purge seasonally, but realistically, the seasons come around, time passes so quickly. I'm being honest, I tend to do at the start of the year, I kind of do January and September then when the children go back to school. But the recommendation is seasonally, and I think it's really just to keep everything clean, all bugs at bay, so you can see if anything's expired, you can get rid of them. And it's really, the purging is about hygiene and your awareness about your food. It just keeps it top of mind that there's, that you're aware of the food you're buying, the waste, and as you go through the different meals that you're aware of what's in your fridge. And just so you're aware, the warmest part of your fridge, that's at the very top of the door. And your coldest part is right at the back on the rear panel. And it's just, I want to mention it to you because sometimes I've made this mistake myself. I've pushed salad to the back and you end up having lettuce stuck to your back panel, and it's, it's a mess. So like anything that really doesn't need to be that cold, pop it up to the top shelf, or your condiments and things like that, you can pop them in the door, and higher up is the warmest part. Just to be aware of that, because if you are getting food in and some of it is ready made, it's important that you know where it needs to go in your fridge to keep it safe, to keep any kind of risk of bacteria to an absolute minimum. With your freezer, I would say just defrost as necessary. With modern freezers, the need to do that big defrost is happening less and less, and it really is just a quick wipe to keep things tidy. But they do defrost automatically, a lot of the more modern ones. What I want you to focus on with your freezer anyway is what needs to be in there. And now you're thinking of your store cupboard as well, that you had your staples. What would be your staples for your freezer? I mean, if you think about it, frozen veg, frozen fruit, always handy. You're going to need your ice cubes. Will you have ice cream? What sort of things? I always have an ice pack just in case there's an injury. What are the things that you know that you definitely want to have in there? And then think freezer bags and containers. So if you're getting food in, especially if you're going to prep yourself and divide into portions, I use the Ziploc freezer bags for portions, and they're really handy because they stack up very easily and they take up less space than Tupperware or those kind of more firm packages. The bags kind of slot in very nicely together. Whatever method you want to use, just have them to hand. So check that ever so often, check it and make sure you have them, so that when you do, if you're cooking a big curry and you want to put it away for a couple of weeks, make sure you have the bags there that you can just let it cool and you freeze it straight away. And then a system for use by dates is really important. What you don't want is to have a collection of food in your freezer and you don't know what needs to be eaten first. You do need an order. One system you can use for the freezer is labeling. On a permanent marker, you write in the dates that it went in. Another way you can do is just coloured stickers. But to be honest, the system I use is the oldest to the front. So what I want used first goes to the front, and then I stack back towards the back of the drawer. So that's basically how I do it. Or if they're like larger boxes, I put the newest one to the bottom and I stack that way. So once they're frozen, you can pop them underneath, and that's how I stack things. So I know what's closer to the front of the drawer needs to be used first. And it's just have your own system and stick to it. Keeps the turnover of food nice and safe. Things to remember are what fresh or chilled foods will suit your lifestyle. Is it something that you like a lot of fresh fruit and vegetables, or would you like the frozen ones? For a little bit of both, depending on what you're cooking. Do you need faster meals? Is it something that you want to do quickly? Think about, where they fit in. Is it something, would you have a lot of smoothies? Is it kind of snacky foods? Would you need more foods if you're away for longer periods through the day? Do you eat away from the home? So do you need those kind of easier, lighter meals? Things to consider would be your fresh or your chilled, because also you need to think about, have you got the space to put them in? Where would they go in your fridge or freezer? Because the last thing you want to do is to have a huge amount of food and then no place to put it. So what do you need to hand for the week or the weekend? So there, as I was saying, I plan the meal plan Monday to Friday and then Saturday, Sunday, because I have a clear division between the two. You split up your week to suit your lifestyle. We need different foods and we also eat at different times. When do you need to do this shopping? Because think about it, for your lifestyle, you want to have your week planned ahead. And I know on a normal calendar your week starts on a Monday, but when does it suit you to do it? Some people like to do their week shop on a Friday evening, some people wait till Sunday. You could do it on a Wednesday. It doesn't really matter. When does it suit you to do your week? And also bear in mind, if you are going to prep your food, you try and do the shop as close as you can to the time that you have to do the prep. Simply from a logistics point of view, you can just take everything home, have it out on the table, prep it, cook it and store it. If it's a thing that you're doing them on separate days, it just saves the bother of having to put everything away and then to take everything back out again and go through the motions. So what I would try to do is do the shopping and the prepping at the same time, and I'll pick a time that suits me. You may not want to have to do it on a Sunday. There's no reason why you can't do the same prep work on a Wednesday or a Thursday, and you just plan your meals the same way. And one thing I want to point out is the food wastage. Be aware of food wastage, especially in a new food lifestyle reset. Because what will happen is you're still kind of settling into this new stage. So there will be some foods that perhaps you thought you needed, but you didn't. Maybe you might get the volumes wrong. It may be a thing that you thought you might like a food, but when you cooked it, you thought, well, actually, I don't really like that very much. You're still finding your way with the new food lifestyle reset. So just be aware of your food wastage. And if it's a thing that a certain food or vegetable or whatever didn't work for you, that's okay. Just adjust the shopping list or adjust the store cupboard list accordingly. Your food wastage is a really good indicator as to how your planning and your shopping and your food usage is going. It will give you a lot of insight, so keep an eye on that, because obviously you want to keep food wastage to a minimum. So we're almost there. The next lesson is where we're going to bring it all together. So what we're going to do is take pieces from each of the previous lessons and we're going to tie it all together and leave you with a new or an up-leveled food lifestyle. See you in the next lesson.